My husband spends his entire day playing video games, and he prioritized his PlayStation over our marriage. Because I had had enough, I threatened to get a divorce. We have been together for 15 years, and we have been married for 11 of those years. I am 34 years old and my spouse is 41 years old. We have a daughter that is 7 years old. Since the birth of our kid, we have probably had sex more than once a year. I am the one who is always required to be the one to start any kind of intimacy. Because of this, it is difficult to get him to stay awake while we do it, and it is a lot of work for me to do. He has been to the doctor, and there are no problems with the labs nonetheless. He is not going to take the small blue. My husband has always blamed our lack of intimacy on our kid, because she slept in the bed with us. I will make an effort to get him to move to a different room, but he will always come up with an excuse, such as he is too exhausted, and he will then proceed to go to our gaming room and play his video games. Nothing has changed despite the fact that our kid has been sleeping in her own room for more than 6 months now. Despite the fact that our daughter has been sleeping in the bed with us all this time, his excuse is still valid. Both as a person and as a father, my spouse is a terrific person. It is true that he puts in a lot of effort for his family, and he works 60 hours a week. But that is the extent of his contribution to the household. He tells me that he is exhausted, and that I do not get the strain that comes with being responsible for the financial well-being of the family. I am a classroom mom. I am on paid time off. I am in charge of all household choirs. I work 40 hours a week. I run a small business. I make all of our appointments. I do anything that has to do with our daughter. And I am also a student. I am responsible for all of the laundry, cleaning, and food preparation, as well as the grocery shopping, the yard work, the oil changes of vehicles, the mowing and maintenance of 2.5 acres, and the removal of garbage cans. Some of our bills are paid by me, and I am also responsible for paying for all of our daughter's extracurricular activities, which adds up to a significant amount. To put it simply, he believes that the amount of labor and contributions I make does not compare to what he does. Due to the fact that he saves reels on Facebook for me, I was able to call him this past week. The majority of the time, he wants me to try out dishes and humorous things. The fact that I discovered all of these more attractive girls and groups that he has been looking at in his search history was the final straw that caused me to lose my composure. Even if he came to me to have sex and I refused to give it to him, I wouldn't be angry about it. When I asked him about it, he responded by saying that he doesn't check such stuff up. I responded by telling him that I'm not naive and that it's obvious right now. After that, the following day, he declares yay, he clicks on those girls' profiles and groups because he is a man and he enjoys looking on the internet. I have seen that he has begun shutting his game room while he is in there. When he claims to be sleeping, I know that he is playing his PlayStation, and I suppose that he is also looking at these various profiles of people. When I asked him about it, he swore that he wasn't jerking off. But I'm not stupid and naive. I can remember seeing lotion up there a long time ago while I was cleaning, and I had asked him about it. Honestly, I despise it when people lie to me. For the fact that I watch porn, he accuses me of being a hypocrite nevertheless. If he were to be intimate with me, I would not watch porn and take care of my needs at the same time. Additionally, when I do open up a video, it is not as if I am going to a certain individual or their profile by any means. In addition, I have been forthright with him about the fact that I engage in masturbation and watch pornographic content. I freely admit that I am a hypocrite, and one could say that I am simply upset because it appears that it is me. In my opinion, he does not appear to be interested in me, or he does not appear to be attracted to me. When he states that he doesn't really have a drive, I had the same opinion. However, after observing what he likes to click on, I had the impression that he just does not have a drive towards me. He appears to have reached a higher level, according to those who are wise. In general, I am taking care of myself and making an attempt to improve my appearance. It's true that I'm not the most attractive or the most gorgeous person, but I certainly don't look horrible. Besides being small and balding, he is overweight. How come I have the impression that I do not appear attractive enough for him, or that I do not thrill him enough to be with me? I informed him that I want him to get rid of all of the gaming equipment, that he should not be imprisoned upstairs, and that he should spend more time with me and our family. If he does not do these things, then it is time for their divorce. According to him, he is not going to give up his gaming gear, and he does not understand how this could be a problem. Because I am just interested in having sexual encounters, he warned me that I will destroy our family. It's just that I'm sick of pleading. I have the impression that I shouldn't be pleading with him to be with his family, to show me affection, and to be intimate with me. I am exhausted with the fact that I do so much for everyone and I do not receive anything in return. It's becoming old to put my needs and wants on the back burner. I'm sick of pleading with him to spend time with us and do things that involve the family. He is just excited about going upstairs to the game room and playing his video games and I think now I know that he also enjoys doing other things. This is the only thing that will get him excited. Occasionally, we have engaged in counseling sessions, and while the situation improves for a short period of time, it eventually returns to its previous state. Do you consider me to be a hypocrite and an asshole? Is it possible that I am taking things to an exaggerated level? This is being edited to include the fact that our child is sleeping in the same bed as us. Every one of us gave her permission to sleep in the same bed as us. The sooner I attempted to kick her out of the house and into her own room, the more my husband insisted that she was not yet ready. In order to convince her to go to her own room, it required a lot of effort and bribes, and she would cry. In addition, I would like to mention that there are always two sides to every story, and you are only hearing one of them. The way that we express our affection is not the same. I am the recipient of his acts of service, as well as his tenderness and physical touch. I do my best to keep up with everything that pertains to the house, because he enjoys having a clean and organized home. I attempted to talk to him about what happiness means to me and what I desire, but he is not listening to what I have to say. There are moments when I feel like a spoilt brat because, yeah, he provides for us financially, and I don't have to do without. To put it simply, it stinks. I would like to be seen once more. In the past, we were such a tight-knit group, and now it's a competition to see who can do what. In all honesty, my husband is not a terrible person or father. My daughter is undeniably a daddy's girl, primarily due to the fact that I am the one that enforces rules and ensures that she is required to do things like wash her teeth, do her schoolwork, and so on. On the days that we have off together, he will do a few things with us, and then he will insist that he needs to get some rest, but he will go upstairs and play video games instead. It is true that he puts in an excessive amount of work. He claims that he puts in a lot of effort because he wants to make sure that us are taken care of in the event that something adverse happens to him. When he was growing up, his mother really struggled, and his father was never around to support him. Comments that are pertinent from the OOP. Your comment stood out to me quite a bit. It is true that there are moments when I reach a point of anger, because I wish he would just see what has to be done without my having to constantly remind him of it. Each year, I inquire about whether or not he is able to set up the Christmas lights, but he never does it until I finally go off on him. I know that Christmas lights bring joy to both my daughter and me, and he is aware of this fact, so why do I feel the need to urge him to do it each and every year? There is nothing thoughtful that he does on my birthday, which is about the same time as Christmas. According to him, the reason is that he is working and did not have the time to go acquire anything, but he is able to find time to play video games and order items for his gameplay on Amazon. In addition to having our daughter prepare a card for me, I encourage him to bake a cake with our daughter. Bring her to Walmart and provide her with the opportunity to select an item for me. And I want him to demonstrate to my daughter that I am important. I am certain that you have seen the TikTok video that was posted about the wife's stocking not having anything in it, and it is yet. Another thing that I need to remind him to find the time to do for me to spend with our daughter. Simply put, I want him to make time for me so that I don't have to bother him. I believe that I am merely exhausted as well. Even though I am aware that gaming is his way of unwinding and relaxing, he does not seem to see that putting his family first should be his first priority. First and foremost, today is January 4th, 2024. The response to my initial post has been overwhelming, and I am grateful for the feedback that has been provided. To be honest, I had no idea that I would be writing an update so quickly or even at all. During the time that I was blindly rage writing my problems to a group of strangers, I also noticed that I had not written the title in the correct manner. I made the necessary adjustments in this post update. The following is what I sent to my hubby via messaging yesterday. Just for the sake of our daughter, why should we continue to be together? What is it about me that you admire, other than the fact that I am a decent mother and wife? What is it about me that pleases you? In addition to financial matters, what are some other things that you want from our relationship that you are not getting? What do you believe I bring to the table in terms of our relationship? Is it true that you do not desire sexual activity or a physical relationship? Is it your opinion that this is not a problem? I require a relationship that is both physical and intimate. That is something that I consider to be really essential. There is more to it than just sexual activity. Am I not appealing to you in any way? Are you not interested in me? Please be truthful. Why do you try to conceal the fact that you engage in masturbation? I don't understand why I'm unhappy, and I don't think you get that my feelings are justified. Do you believe that I am upset about nothing? As if you were pouring water into a sieve, I get the impression that you accept my words as it were. The things that I say are of no importance to you. I don't understand why you can't notice my suffering. You believe that this will be easy on me? Is it possible that you don't take this and what I say seriously since I've threatened you with an excessive number of empty threats? Where are we able to continue on from here? Is it possible for us to find a solution? That you are unable to be truthful with me about the fact that there is a problem is sometimes my problem. I despise it when you refuse to accept responsibility and instead transfer blame to another party. Because we are adults, we are prone to making errors, and we ought to accept responsibility for the things that we say and do. The person I am right now is not the person I used to be, and I am aware of this fact. I dislike being yelled at, pestering, and pleading for something. In need of assistance, attention, and affection from you, please. If we want to continue forward, I will return to the area, find a job that pays better, and assist you more with your financial matters. For your part, you will be expected to contribute more to our family. You will need to help and call out when she is sick, take off for field trips, help make her lunches, take her to extracurricular activities, and help more with daily tasks. Furthermore, you will need to worry about finding a sitter for our daughter, who will be picking her up from school. Never once did he respond. On the other hand, I observed him playing for more than 3 hours on his PlayStation. From my perspective, that says a lot. It was someone who sent me a message with this link. That narrative struck a chord with me, and it did so in a way that was very personal. It would appear that I have reached the point where I no longer desire to have a roommate. Simply put, I want a partner who is concerned about me and who recognizes the value that I bring to our relationship as well as to our family. There are a lot of responses to the initial post that talk about how I just want to have sex, but that's probably not the case. A yearning to feel loved and longed for, as well as a desire for love and intimacy. When it comes to our relationship, I want it to be one in which we are once again a team, and it is no longer a contest of who does what. I suppose that was the point at which we could have worked things out. What I am now concerned with is how I can make this transition as smooth as possible for my daughter. In spite of the pain I am experiencing, I will keep a smile on my face and press down on it. Since, as a parent, she places the utmost importance on how she feels and what she observes, I do not want her to feel guilty or sad about the situation. I am grateful to the strangers for their guidance, even though some of it caused me some discomfort. I am aware that it will not be simple. Having said that, I am aware that it is difficult to form an opinion when you are only given one side of the argument. I acknowledge that I am not an angel in any of this, and I accept responsibility for the roles that I played in the conclusion of this chapter. The time has come, I suppose, to move on. Comments that are pertinent from the OOP. Both your message and your point of view are very much appreciated. Absolutely, I do. As soon as he arrives at his house, he expresses how exhausted he is and immediately makes his way to the game room to get some rest before we even have a chance to say hello. After that, I hear him engaging in his game up there. I convey to him and to our daughter how grateful I am for the way in which he provides for his spouse and children. I have assisted him in losing weight, and I have expressed to him how much I admire his appearance and how proud I am of his weight loss, despite the fact that he is achieving the results through the use of medication. Before he arrives at home, I make certain that the house is clean and well organized. I am responsible for packing his work bag, clean his clothes, preparing his lunches, and purchasing his snacks. What I receive in return is that he pays the majority of our bills, and I do not receive anything else outside of that, unless I ask him to do something multiple times. When I ask him to attend a family gathering, he always responds by saying that he is too exhausted to go. In the entire time that he is gone, he is constantly complaining about how exhausted he is. It is not possible for him to simply bring a smile to his face by doing what I do. I don't believe I have any more to give at this point. When I reached this point, I asked him to make a sacrifice for me, but he did not respond. Instead, he spent 3 hours playing his game. I was disappointed. When is the time that I am entitled to receive some additional effort from our marriage? Totally, I can empathize with you. It seems as though he is not even open to or appreciative of the act of kindness that you are attempting to perform for him. Consequently, the only other thing that comes to mind is that I should try to convince him to talk about the things that are making him unhappy to the point where he needs to escape to his games every single waking moment. Put the responsibility for explaining what he believes he is not getting, which is the reason he is constantly gaming, on his shoulders. While I was gaming, I would still make time for my family, but it seems that he won't be able to do the same. While it's possible that you've already made up your mind, if you're still on the fence about whether or not to move forward with your decision, temporarily putting aside your hurt and concerns, and gaining an understanding of the reasons why he is checking out and gaming could provide you with some valuable insight. So, I'm going to guess that he wasn't always like this. It appears that something is fundamentally not functioning properly. Although couples therapy might be beneficial, there are a lot of therapists who aren't very good. I'm not sure if it's a possibility, but perhaps a physical separation, or a trip away for a few weeks, could be enough to get him to wake up. On the other hand, if you do end up going through a divorce, I hope that everything goes well for you. These are not enjoyable. This was his response a day later, and it was as follows up. If I don't make you happy, then I don't want to force something that isn't going to make you happy the way you want to proceed, is acceptable to me, despite the fact that we have been together for 14 years. I should not be required to demonstrate that I love you. We are free to go our separate ways. I am committed to providing you and Landry with the highest possible level of financial support. I have only a few requests to make. Whichever location you choose to relocate to, please keep your distance from one another to within 30 miles so that I can see Landry and provide better assistance. I am able to pay your mortgage on a house that costs $250,000 if you put $100,000 down, and I will of course pay for whatever Landry requires. I want $100,000 when we sell the house, and you can have everything else. It is imperative that you pay off the Tesla. $33,000 is what I owe. For our house, we need to raise at least $600,000, if not more. Even though I despise the fact that it has come to this, we will assist you in achieving happiness so long as we are able to reach a consensus regarding our child and our financial situation. 7 months later, on August 11, 2024, the second update was released. Greetings, fellow users of Reddit. I apologize for being absent from Reddit for a short while. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure where I left off, but the following are the most recent updates that have been updated. I am not entirely sure where the most appropriate location would be to post updates, but I thought I would just make another post. My second post revealed that I had discovered some thyroid nodules, and while I am relieved to report that they are not cancerous, I will still be required to undergo a procedure in order to have them reduced in size. As soon as my husband learned about them, he became disturbed. In terms of my health, I did not disclose to him what I was going through. Following that, we had another conversation about whether or not he had asked if we could make amends, and we did everything in our power to address our concerns, and we have been making an effort to work on things. No longer does he play his PlayStation, watch pornographic content, or stay in our game room, which is located upstairs. With all of the additional medical costs that resulted from all of the lab testing and the necessity to save money for the procedure, I started working more and contributing more financially. This was especially important now that I was working more. Considering that I have been working more, he has been assisting me with chores around the house and being a more present parent. Right now we are working on things. Having sexual encounters, making efforts to improve our health, and increasing the amount of time we spend communicating. I came to the realization that life is just too short to not take pleasure in it after my possible cancer scare. I told him that I am no longer going to waste my energy arguing, being angry, or being around people who influence my life in a manner that is more negative than positive. In the event that we are not moving in the same direction, he is aware that I will not continue to be together in our marriage. According to the opinions of many people, it is not beneficial for our daughter to be with parents who remain together solely for the purpose of providing for our child. He is now taking cholesterol medication, has lost 60 pounds, and is using a continuous positive airway pressure CPAP machine to treat sleep apnea due to the fact that he has finally listened to me. Since then, he appears to be in a more positive mood overall. It was explained to me that he was completely unaware of how long he would stay up watching PlayStation, and how this would also have an effect on his sleep. He expressed his regret for being so oblivious to the situation. The fact that he is attempting to be more involved and present in his roles as a husband and father is something that I can see him doing. When it comes to our relationship, he is also taking a great deal more initiative. I have the impression that we are experiencing genuine intimacy because he is the one who initiates sexual activity and is actually returning to foreplay. Because of the amount of masturbation he did, I have a strong suspicion that he suffered from death grip syndrome. Therefore, he had a difficult time maintaining an erection, which was the primary factor that ultimately resulted in the dead bedroom. I feel like we are back to how we were before we had a child, and the bedroom is once again a fun place to be. We have begun engaging in a variety of activities together, such as watching our weekly shows, going on date nights, and even going on a trip that lasted for a week with just the two of us, and we had a wonderful time. I am not claiming that everything is perfect because we all have our days, but I am saying that we are heading in the right direction. What I believe in is that I should not throw away something that is broken until I have given it my best effort to repair it. The act of discarding something and beginning again with something different is a very simple one. Marriage is a team effort, and in order for it to last, both partners need to be willing to put in equal amounts of responsibility and effort. I'm glad that we are at this point in life, even though I'm disappointed that it took the big wake-up calls to get here. I want to express my gratitude to each and every member of this Reddit community. Let's move on to the next article. This is the second story. The sudden appearance of my son's biracial appearance prompted me to obtain a covert DNA test, which revealed that he is not my biological child. It is only possible that my wife cheated on me. To all of you who throw away, my goal was to keep this as brief as possible. My apologies. While we have been together for 5 years, My wife and I have been married for 3 years. At the beginning of June, our son turned 2 years old, and to put it bluntly, he appears to be of mixed race. He has curly hair, which we most certainly do not have, and his features are not at all like those of the typical white people, which we are. His skin is darker than I had anticipated it would be. Although he is a handsome young man, he does not appear to be entirely white. A few days after our son's birthday, I checked in with my wife to see if she thought he had a white appearance. I asked her if I was accusing her of something, and she responded with a yes. I answered no because I was not, in all honesty, interested. I was just curious. I am aware that genetics can be quite peculiar at times. I tried to apologize after we had a fight, but I was unable to shake the feelings that I had. As a result, I did the naughty thing and had a test performed on my wife without her knowledge. As of a few days ago, the results were received, and I am not the father of my son. Concerning my son, I have a mixed feeling. Even though I have feelings for him, the fact that he is not mine makes me feel a bitter taste in my mouth. It is undeniable that our son favors me, and he is the center of my universe. However, he is not biologically mine. It is difficult for me to make sense of how I am feeling. For my wife, I am experiencing a range of feelings. It's difficult for me to communicate with her. I am enraged, perplexed, and experiencing a profound sense of betrayal. Yes, I am also inconsolable. I continue to love her. I am trying not to disturb her while she is working at her office because I don't want to bother her. But I have the feeling that I am going to explode. All of this is extremely challenging for me to process, and I am unable to do so. When did my wife cheat on me? I can't even remember. Due to the fact that we always head each other's locations for safety reasons, I am unable to think of any friends that she has or has had who could be considered suspicious. There are regular dates that we go on, and our bedroom is not empty. I have no idea when she unfaithfully cheated on me or why she did it, because we were also trying to have a baby around that time, since the day we tied the knot. She has been utterly ecstatic, and she has never stopped talking about me and showing off her ring. She reminds me of a heartbroken adolescent. What is the best way for me to let her know that I am aware? How about we get that ball rolling? It may sound ridiculous, but I have no idea what I want to do at this point in time. But despite the fact that I've been thinking about it for a few days, I still love her so much. Is it possible that someone could make me see things from a different perspective? Please assist me. Edit, I'm becoming overwhelmed with the comments. I'm sorry. I wanted to reply to a few, but I can't. I just wanted to say thank you for commenting and that I also hope our baby was just swapped, as terrible as that sounds. Our baby, it didn't look biracial at birth. As he got older, he started developing features that didn't look entirely like ours. If our son's skin didn't darken over time, I don't think I ever would have questioned anything. The other features can be explained as a fun little surprise or a few generation hops maybe. I know that genetics can be weird. Update July 17th, 2024, 16 days later. I don't know if anyone will see this, as the subreddit I posted to doesn't allow updates after 48 hours, but hello if you do. Getting the bad news out the way first, my son isn't mine. I feel devastated and will be divorcing my wife. My wife and I had talked about our son a few days after my post, and my wife cracked under the pressure. She admitted to cheating on me without me even mentioning the test I had gotten done. All I asked was if she really thought our son looked white. I mean it when I say that if his skin never got darker, I wouldn't have known. She cried a lot and begged for forgiveness, and told me that we can all still be a happy family, but my image of her shattered right then and there. I'm going through heartbreak, so forgive any mistakes. I'm currently living with my parents. I asked her when she even found the time to cheat on me, and she told me that she would leave her phone in a location and use another. She told me that cheating was a mistake and an accident, but how was it a mistake if you had it so planned out? We were trying for a baby around then, and she told me that she couldn't handle the pressure of it all and just wanted to escape. She didn't escape very well, as she still got pregnant and acted like we were perfect. Thank you again to everyone. My wife will now be known as my ex-wife. I apologize to anyone who had hope and thought it was a baby switched at birth situation. I'm somewhat happy it wasn't, because that would be terrible. But extremely disappointed, because that means he really isn't mine. There won't be any more DNA tests because she admitted to everything and showed me some text messages. There won't be any more updates from me either, because I just want to move on with my life. I'll get everything sorted and figure out the whole custody thing. Thanks again, everyone.